Hello lovelies, my name is Ifeoluwa and welcome back to my channel. Whether you're a long-time subscriber or just stumbled upon my channel, I want to express my gratitude for your support and for joining me on this creative journey. So in today's video, I'll be showing you how to create a stunning inline dress with lace edge as the neckline. So if this is what you're interested in learning, kindly watch this video to the end. So guys, I'll be drafting first on my lining before using the lining to cut out the lace material. So now to get started, the first thing I did was to fold the lining into two and draw out my starting line. Then from this starting line, you're going to go ahead to mark out your shoulder to bust points, your shoulder to waist, your shoulder to hip, and your hemline. So this is me marking the shoulder to bust points, shoulder to waist, shoulder to hip, and my gown length. So after making those points, I went ahead to draw a line across each of them. So now we have the hip line, we have the waistline, and finally we have the bust line. After that, I went ahead to mark the neck width of 3 inches and the half of my shoulder measurement. So from this shoulder point, I came down by 1 inch and I'm going to connect it to make the neckline just as you see me doing. So now, the next thing I did was to go ahead to mark the neck depth of 3 inches for the back neckline and 8 inches for the front neckline. So I'm going to connect it like so. The front neckline is a V neckline. So I'm going to go ahead to slant my ruler as you see me doing and connect it to form a V shape. So that's all about the neckline. Now from this point where I came down by 1 inch, I'm going to go ahead to mark my armhole depth. After marking the armhole depth, I'm going to go ahead to draw a line across the point like so. So this line here is going to form our chest line. So now on the chest line, I went ahead to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. After placing it, I connect like so to form a straight line. So now on our armhole line, I'm going to go ahead to mark the midpoint of it. After marking the midpoint, I went in by half an inch. So now on the chest line, I went ahead to put in my bust measurement divided by 4. So now I'm going to go ahead to connect these 3 points together with my curve ruler. After connecting, the next thing we're going to do now is to input our round measurement. So on the bust line, I'm going to go ahead to put in my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 2.5 for seam allowance. So this 2.5 is for ease and for seam allowance. Now on the waistline, I'm going to go ahead to mark my waist measurement divided by 4. Plus 2.5 for ease and for seam allowance. Likewise on the hip measurements, on the hip line, I'm going to go ahead to put in my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 2.5, which is going to serve as the seam allowance for ease. So now on the M line, I'm going to mark my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 2.5 for seam allowance and ease, and additional 3 inches for the H-shape design. So for these 3 inches, you can decide to increase it to 4 or 5, depending on the amount of fabric you have. So now After that, we are going to go ahead to connect each point together, just as you see me doing.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night.
Now, on the chest line, I went ahead to add my 2.5 for ease and seam allowance. Then I connect it to meet the bust line. So, on the shoulder line, I went up by half an inch. This is going to serve as the seam allowance for joining the front shoulder and back shoulder together. So guys, this is all about the drafting. Let's go ahead to cut it out.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running.
After cutting, this is what we have. Now I've gone ahead to use my front piece to cut out my back piece. The only difference was that I added 1 inch for the zipper allowance at the back. Then I went ahead to increase the length of the back piece by 1 inch. Did I understand? Then at the side, I came up by 2 inches and draw a curve like so. So let me come again. I increased the length of the back by 1 inch. Then at the side, I went up by 2 inches, then draw a curve like so. So that is it about the front and the back. So now I've gone ahead to pin down my back piece on the lace, then increase the length of the lace by 1 inch. After that, I'm going to go ahead to cut it out.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be.
So guys, our front piece is going to be having a yoke, and the yoke is going to stop exactly where our neckline stops. Now we're going to go ahead to draw a line across the points where we marked 8 inches for the front neckline. Now the next thing to do is to go ahead to cut out the front neckline first. After cutting the front neckline, you're going to go ahead to cut out the yoke. So now, after cutting out the yoke, you're going to go ahead to keep it aside, then focus more on the body. So now, you're going to go ahead to open up the body as you see me doing. After opening it up, you're going to go ahead to trace out a line at the that is, you're going to go ahead to draw a line at the center following the crease line. So I'm going to go ahead to do just that and come back to show you. So guys, this is me after drawing the line at the center. So now the next thing you are going to do is to take your lace with the edge side facing you. You are going to go ahead to place it on your lining like so. So when placing the lace, make sure the edge goes beyond the line you drew. Just let it go beyond it a bit. Do you understand? So I'm going to go ahead to do just that. I'll place my lace on the lining and make sure the edge goes beyond the line and go ahead to pin everything down. So guys, I've gone ahead to pin it down, making sure the edge goes beyond the center line a bit. So after pinning it down, I went ahead to increase the length of the lace by 1 inch. Don't forget that was how we increase the back piece. So we're going to do the same thing on the front. We're going to increase the length of the lace by 1 inch. After that, you go ahead to cut it out.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us high.
So guys, after cutting it out, I've gone ahead to pin it down to cut out the second part. But make sure when you're pinning it down, let the edges be the same, just as the symmetry. Make sure one edge is the same thing with the other edge. You can go ahead to pin it down to make sure it is placed properly. So after making sure it is well placed, I'm going to go ahead to use it to trace the second part.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine.
After the cutouts, this is what I have, guys. Now I'm going to go ahead to remove the pins to show you what the front looks like. After removing the pins and open it up, you should have something like this. Can you see the difference? So now let's go ahead to cut out the yoke. For the yoke part, you're going to go ahead to fold your fabric as you see me doing, making sure the edge of the lace is well aligned together. After that, you're going to take your lining piece and slant the neckline like so. After slanting it, you're going to go ahead to pin it down. After pinning it down, the next thing you are going to do is to add half an inch at the down part. So this down part here of the yoke, you are going to go ahead to add half an inch. This is for the joining it back to the body. So you go ahead to draw a straight line to connect the points. After that, you go ahead to cut it out. Now guys, this will bring us to the end of today's video. And in my next video, I'll be showing you how to couple these pieces together. So if this video was helpful, show some love by hitting the like button and sharing your thoughts in the comment section. Also, subscribe to my channel for new sewing tutorials every week. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.